Long before smartphones, the internet, or modern space exploration, Lost in Space invited millions of viewers to dream about life among the stars. Each week, the Robinson family carried us to strange worlds filled with danger, wonder, and endless possibilities. But behind the Jupiter 2 were career reinventions, tragic endings, long retirements, and surprising lives after fame. Today, we're looking back at the cast of Lost in Space, then and now, and the real stories behind this classic sci-fi journey. Dr. John Robinson was played by Guy Williams, who was born in 1924 in New York City. At 41 years old when Lost in Space debuted in 1965, he brought intelligence, courage, and leadership to the Robinson family's journey through the stars. Guy Williams passed away in 1989 at the age of 65 from a brain aneurysm. Beyond Lost in Space, he was also widely remembered for portraying Zorro, one of television's most iconic heroes. As the leader of the Robinson family, Dr. Robinson represented hope in the face of the unknown. His determination helped make every adventure feel possible, inspiring generations of viewers to dream beyond Earth. Major Don West was played by Mark Goddard, who was born in 1936 in Lowell, Massachusetts. At age 29 during the series' original run, he brought bravery, confidence, and action to the crew's interstellar adventures. Mark Goddard passed away in 2023 at the age of 87 due to pulmonary fibrosis. Following Lost in Space, he worked in television, education, and public appearances while remaining a favorite among science fiction fans. Don West often charged into danger before anyone else. His adventurous spirit captured the excitement of exploring distant worlds and helped fuel the sense of wonder that defined the series. Penny Robinson was played by Angela Cartwright, who was born in 1952 in Altrincham, England. At just 13 years old when Lost in Space debuted in 1965, she brought curiosity, intelligence, and youthful optimism to the Robinson family's adventures. Nowadays, Angela Cartwright is 74 years old and remains fondly remembered for her work in television and film. Before Lost in Space, she also won audiences over as Brigitte von Trapp in The Sound of Music. Penny often viewed strange new worlds with wonder rather than fear. Her curiosity reflected the excitement many viewers felt while imagining what might exist beyond the stars. Dr. Zachary Smith was played by Jonathan Harris, who was born in 1914 in New York City. At 51 years old during the show's original run, he brought wit, mischief, and unforgettable humor to one of science fiction's most beloved characters. Jonathan Harris passed away in 2002 at the age of 87 from a blood clot. Throughout his long career, he appeared in radio, television, film, and stage productions, but Dr. Smith remained his signature role. Few television characters were as unpredictable as Dr. Smith. Whether causing trouble or helping at the last moment, he brought charm and personality that helped make Lost in Space truly unforgettable. Geo was played by Harry Monty, who was born in 1903 in London, England. At 62 years old when he appeared on Lost in Space, he brought humor, character, and a memorable presence to the Robinson family's strange encounters. Harry Monty passed away in 1999 at the age of 95 after a remarkably long life and career. He appeared in numerous films and television productions spanning many decades of entertainment history. One of the joys of Lost in Space was discovering unusual characters on distant worlds. Geo helped add to that sense of mystery and adventure that kept audiences wondering what might appear next. Verda was played by Dee Hartford, who was born in 1928 in Salt Lake City, Utah. At 37 years old when she appeared on Lost in Space, she brought elegance, mystery, and charm to one of the series' memorable encounters. Dee Hartford passed away in 2018 at the age of 89 after a long career in film and television. Her work spanned several decades, including appearances in numerous popular television productions. Part of Lost in Space's magic came from the fascinating people the Robinson family met along the way. Verda added another layer of wonder to a universe filled with strange worlds and unexpected discoveries. Mr. Zumdisch was played by Fritz Feld, who was born in 1900 in Berlin, Germany. At 65 years old when he appeared on Lost in Space, he brought humor, eccentricity, and a memorable personality to the series. Fritz Feld died in 1993 at the age of 93 from complications related to a stroke. His remarkable career included appearances in more than 100 films and television programs. Lost in Space thrived on unusual characters from distant places. Mr. Zumdish was one of those unforgettable personalities who helped make the universe feel larger, stranger, and full of surprises. Judy Robinson was played by Marta Kristen, who was born in 1945 in Oslo, Norway. At age 20, when the series began, she brought intelligence, grace, and maturity to the eldest member of the Robinson children. At present, Marta Kristen is 81 years old and remains a beloved figure among science fiction fans. Following Lost in Space, she continued acting while frequently appearing at conventions celebrating the classic series. Judy often served as a steady presence during the family's adventures. Her courage and compassion helped balance the excitement of exploring unknown worlds and facing the challenges of deep space. Aunt Gamma was played by Sheila Allen, who was born in 1929 in Chard, Somerset, England. At 36 years old when she appeared on Lost in Space, she brought sophistication, mystery, and a memorable presence to the series. Sheila Allen passed away in 2011 at the age of 81 after a career spanning television, film, and theater. She appeared in numerous productions on both sides of the Atlantic throughout her distinguished career. The Robinson family often encountered people who seemed both fascinating and unpredictable. Aunt Gamma was one of those characters who added intrigue and helped expand the imaginative universe of the show. Captain Alonzo P. Tucker was played by Albert Salmi, who was born in 1928 in Brooklyn, New York. At 38 years old when he appeared on Lost in Space, he brought toughness, determination, and authority to the role. Albert Salmi passed away in 1990 at the age of 62. Throughout his career, he earned respect for his powerful performances in television, film, and theater productions across several decades. Lost in Space frequently explored how people responded when facing the unknown. Characters like Captain Tucker added tension and realism to adventures set far beyond the familiar world of Earth. Athena was played by Bettina Marcus, who was born in 1937 in New York City. At 29 years old, when she appeared on Lost in Space, she brought beauty, confidence, and an unforgettable presence to one of the series' most imaginative stories. Nowadays, Bettina Marcus is 89 years old and remains fondly remembered by classic television fans. Her career included appearances in a variety of popular television series during the 1960s and 1970s. One of the strengths of Lost in Space was its ability to create entirely new worlds every week. Characters like Athena helped make those distant places feel magical, mysterious, and full of possibility. The Keeper was played by Michael Rennie, who was born in 1909 in Bradford, England. At 57 years old when he appeared on Lost in Space, he brought intelligence, authority, and mystery to one of the series' most memorable characters. Michael Rennie passed away in 1971 at the age of 61 from an aortic aneurysm. Best known for portraying Klaatu in The Day the Earth Stood Still, he became one of science fiction's most respected actors. The Keeper represented the unknown wonders that awaited beyond familiar worlds. His presence added a sense of grandeur and mystery that perfectly matched the show's vision of deep space exploration. Farnham was played by Leonard Stone, who was born in 1923 in Salem, Oregon. At 43 years old when he appeared on Lost in Space, he brought humor, personality, and memorable energy to the Robinson family's adventures. Leonard Stone passed away in 2011 at the age of 87 after a long career in television and film. Over the years, he appeared in dozens of popular productions and became a familiar face to audiences. Some of Lost in Space's most entertaining moments came from the unusual individuals encountered along the journey. Farnham added charm and unpredictability to a universe filled with endless possibilities. Craspo was played by Robert Folk, who was born in 1908 in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. At 58 years old when he appeared on Lost in Space, he brought strength, authority, and a commanding screen presence to the role. Robert Folk passed away in 1989 at the age of 80 after a career spanning film and television. His rugged appearance made him a natural fit for powerful characters across many classic productions. Every new world in Lost in Space came with new challenges and unfamiliar faces. Characters like Craspo helped create the sense that danger and discovery could be waiting around any corner. Fanzig was played by Marcel Hilaire, who was born in 1908 in Cologne, Germany. At 58 years old, when he appeared on Lost in Space, he brought sophistication, intelligence, and a distinctive presence to one of the series' unusual encounters. Marcel Hilaire passed away in 1988 at the age of 79 after a long career in theater, film, and television. His European background and refined style made him a memorable performer in many classic productions. Lost in Space often introduced audiences to fascinating individuals from strange new worlds. Fanzig helped expand that sense of discovery, adding another layer of mystery to the Robinson family's journey. Doc Alpha 12 was played by Don Matheson, who was born in 1929 in Dearborn, Michigan. At 37 years old when he appeared on Lost in Space, he brought confidence, heroism, and a futuristic spirit to the role. Don Matheson passed away in 2014 at the age of 84 after a career that included television, film, and military service. He became a familiar face to viewers through appearances in numerous popular series. Characters like IDOC Alpha 12 embodied the show's vision of humanity's future among the stars. His presence reflected the optimism and adventure that made Lost in Space a beloved science fiction classic. Little Joe was played by Alan Melvin, who was born in 1923 in Kansas City, Missouri. At 43 years old when he appeared on Lost in Space, he brought humor, personality, and memorable comic timing to the series. Alan Melvin passed away in 2008 at the age of 84 from cancer. Throughout his career, he became one of television's most recognizable character actors, appearing in numerous sitcoms and animated productions. One reason Lost in Space remains so entertaining is its colorful collection of supporting characters. Little Joe added fun and unpredictability to adventures that constantly carried viewers toward the unknown. Security guard was played by Hoke Howell, who was born in 1929 in Tennessee. At 37 years old when he appeared on Lost in Space, he brought authority, reliability, and a grounded presence to the futuristic adventure. Hoke Howell passed away in 2010 at the age of 80 after a long career in television and film. He appeared in numerous westerns, dramas, and science fiction productions throughout several decades. Even brief characters helped make the universe of Lost in Space feel believable. The security guard added another piece to the vast world the Robinson family encountered during their travels among the stars. Jimmy Capgood was played by Warren Oates, who was born in 1928 in Depoy, Kentucky. At 38 years old when he appeared on Lost in Space, he brought toughness, charisma, and a distinctive screen presence to the role. Warren Oates passed away in 1982 at the age of 53 from a heart attack. Widely respected for his work in film and television, he became known as one of the most talented character actors of his generation. Lost in Space often balanced wonder with danger, and characters like Jimmy Hapgood helped create that tension. His appearance reminded viewers that not every adventure among the stars would be predictable. Aunt Clara Sims was played by Retta Shaw, who was born in 1912 in South Paris, Maine. At 54 years old, when she appeared on Lost in Space, she brought warmth, humor, and personality to one of the series' memorable stories. Retta Shaw passed away in 1982 at the age of 69 after a successful career in film, television, and theater. Her performances made her a familiar and beloved presence in many classic productions. Part of the charm of Lost in Space came from the wide variety of characters the Robinson family met. Aunt Clara added heart and humor to a journey filled with mystery, imagination, and discovery. The ruler was played by Michael Ansara, who was born in 1922 in Syria. At 44 years old when he appeared on Lost in Space, he brought authority, power, and a commanding presence to one of the series' most memorable alien leaders. Michael Ansara passed away in 2013 at the age of 91 after a remarkable career in television, film, and voice acting. Science fiction fans also remember him for iconic roles in Star Trek and numerous animated productions. Lost in Space often explored strange civilizations ruled by extraordinary figures. The ruler added grandeur and mystery to the Robinson family's journey through an ever-expanding universe. Major Domo was played by Royal Dano, who was born in 1922 in New York City. At 44 years old when he appeared on Lost in Space, he brought wisdom, dignity, and a distinctive voice to the role. Royal Dono passed away in 1994 at the age of 71 after a long and respected acting career. His unique screen presence made him a memorable performer in westerns, dramas, and science fiction adventures. One of the strengths of Lost in Space was its ability to create fascinating societies on distant worlds. Characters like Majordomo help make those worlds feel rich, believable, and full of history. Maureen Robinson was played by June Lockhart, who was born in 1925 in New York City. At age 40, when Lost in Space debuted in 1965, she brought intelligence, compassion, and strength to the Robinson family's matriarch. She died in 2025 at the age of 100. Beyond Lost in Space, she enjoyed an extraordinary career spanning film, television, theater, and more than 8 decades in entertainment. Maureen represented the heart of the Robinson family throughout their adventures among the stars. Her kindness and resilience helped make even the most distant worlds feel a little closer to home. Will Robinson was played by Bill Mumy, who was born in 1954 in San Gabriel, California. Just 11 years old when the series began, he became the young explorer at the center of many of the show's most memorable adventures. At present, Bill Mumy is 72 years old and remains a respected figure in science fiction. His career has included acting, music, writing, voice work, and decades of contributions to popular culture. For many viewers, Will Robinson embodied the wonder of discovering the unknown. Through his friendship with the robot and endless curiosity, he inspired generations to imagine what might exist beyond the stars.